Pilar in third grade wants to know who discovered or invented maple syrup. Pilar, what a sweet question. It's a sticky subject, but I may pull together an answer. As much as possible, I want to do these videos in one take, but I couldn't resist starting with those jokes. Pilar, here's how the legend goes. The story goes that there was an Iroquois chief. The Iroquois are a tribe from the northeastern part of North America, and it's this. Chief Waxus one night threw his tomahawk into a tree. He went to bed. The next morning he woke up, took out the tomahawk, and sap flowed down the tree and into a bucket that just happened to be sitting there. Now, his wife, Moqua, later found that bucket and it was full of sap, but she took it to be water, and so she boiled it and boiled their dinner in it, and for dinner that night they had moose meat, and as it boiled down and the water evaporated, what was left behind was the sweet, sweet tree sap. And when Chief Waxus came back from his hunting trip, he smelled that delicious smell of maple syrup soaked moose meat, and everyone fell in love with it, and that's how maple syrup was invented. Now, there's a lot going on in that story, but I want you to take a few seconds right now, I'll do it with you, and think of all the things that don't make sense in that story. All right, let's start now. All right, do you have some ideas? All right, here's my ideas. I don't think I don't think anyone would throw an axe carelessly into a tree. So that's one. I don't think it makes sense that you would leave an axe in a tree overnight. An axe is a very important tool, and I'm sure the owner would treat it with care. There would just have to be a bucket that just happened to be sitting under a tree, directly underneath the axe. You would need the wife, Moqua. I hope she would know the difference between water and tree sap. I mean, tree sap can be kind of watery, but I think it's unlikely that she would say, oh, here's a bucket of water that's just been out overnight, I'll use this for cooking. Moose meat, while I believe that the Iroquois people would eat moose, I really doubt that they would boil the moose meat. What I know is that they would probably smoke it or cook it over a fire. Boiled moose meat does not sound good. And well, I'm sure, when we meet again, I want you to tell me if you think there's anything weird about that story. So, the only part of that story that is true is that the tradition of making maple syrup out of maple tree sap is that it was a tradition of the northeastern Native Americans. Now, the very first recorded history of this was from a French explorer named André Thevet. I got that right. In 1557, he observed that a number of Native Americans were making this very sweet substance. He wrote a few notes about the process of how they did that, and I guess when Europeans arrived here, they took that tradition and made it their own. That's your answer. I hope it satisfies. I'll see you at school.